くぞジェノサイカッタ
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're on my free-to-play account because I want to show you guys something pretty cool that happened to me last night when I was playing, and that was that I was able to get all of these sweet little rubies. Look at that, man. 2,300 rubies on my free-to-play account on a game mode that I've struggled with for quite some time. Really haven't put a tremendous amount of effort in because I really don't like the game mode, but it really isn't all that difficult when you have, you know, obviously OP characters. We just did that tier list, so I thought we'd show off a few of those characters that were on that tier list. And on my fame system here, you know, this is a game mode, or this is a part of the game where you can actually level up your characters and make them actually stronger. And it was funny enough, I had my attack here leveled up, I had my green, and I had my yellow leveled up to level 10, right, to give the yellow, green, and blue fighters more attack. And lo and behold, the characters that I actually used in this particular game mode were those colors. So that was actually nice to actually have them. And again, something about free-to-play accounts that people, you know, that makes it harder for them compared to like maybe like a whale account. At least one of the aspects of it is the fact that on a free-to-play account, you don't have as much CP because your codex isn't leveled up as much. You know, you're always trying to conserve resources as much as possible on these free-to-play accounts. So you're not really leveling up as many characters as you should. You know, for every character that you level up to level 30, to level 60, to level 90, every time you level them up, you get an increase to your codex. You get an increase to your CP, an increase to your attack, your HP, and your defenses. And this makes a huge difference. You know, from my free-to-play account to my main account, there's about a 10,000 CP difference between the same characters with the same build. I made a video about it a long time ago. 10,000 CP difference. It's pretty damn huge. So, you know, really on my free-to-play account, whenever you guys see certain runs, I mean, I'm operating at about 10,000 less CP than what I would actually have on my main account. Now, what is the game mode? Well, you probably already know, but we'll just go ahead and show you here real quick. It's Dungeon of Trials. I've always detested this game mode. I never liked it. It's one of the hardest things in here, especially for a new player. It's very, very hard. The Immortal Dungeons, in my opinion, are much easier than this damn thing. But once you get certain characters, you can actually get it done. You can actually destroy this thing. And I'll go ahead and remove my ugly mug, and I'll show you guys these teams. So, you know, we got Keo, you got Ramlethal, you got Ignatz, and you got Dizzy, and you got Eno. Now, I'm using these characters because, one, we got some shock and chill involved in all of them, but also the fact that they're just the most well-built characters that I have on my account. And that's kind of what you want to do too. You know, you want to use your strongest characters that you have on your account, but if you can have, you know, chill and shock, that's really, really going to help. Because at certain times in this game mode, you're going to need to apply those dots. You know, whenever you're going to start off with chill, and then at a minute 55 seconds, you're going to need shock. Then you're going to need chill at a minute 25 seconds. And then you're going to need shock at 56 seconds. And then you're going to need chill at 26 seconds. Got my notes here. I had to make sure I get those times right. But at all those times, you need those dots. But the thing is, you're going to see that in the run that I'm going to show you guys today, I'm just pretty much going to be spamming my characters. I actually did a run where I spammed them. And I did a run where I just used my 3 PGs over and over. I also did a run where I timed my chill and shocks right to make sure I use a shock damage dealing character whenever I need to apply shock. Make sure I use a chill damage dealing character when I need to apply chill. And honestly, I could get just as good a score, if not better, just spamming my characters and not even really worrying about the timing of doing chills and shock, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, that's the way it ended up working out. And, you know, you guys saw the strikers that I am going to be using. And so a couple of things I want to note before we actually show the run is their builds, okay? So on Ramlethal, this is pretty damn cool, and you guys might think this is wild, right? She does have max capsules. She is level 30. She does have 3 max imprint stones, and I got the Shazur set. That's right. On my free-to-play account, I've been able to farm this set. I've been able to get enough coins. I'm actually only 4 rounds away from finishing the dice game also on this account, which is pretty lit, guys. And these cards right here on the Guilty Gear characters are pretty nuts, especially for Spider Robot, because, you know, they're going to give you super armor whenever you drop in, right? And you're going to get that extra increased attack. And having that super armor, you know, sometimes Spider Robot, when he shoots out his beam, he can interrupt your skills, kind of knock you down, and it actually causes you to lose time, which means losing damage. And that's something you definitely don't want. It's not as important. Really, in Guild Raid, this is actually even more important. But having that decreased skill cooldown, that extra attack, is actually massive for these characters. And then for Remelthal, because she actually has darkness, this card actually is pretty damn insane because it gives her extra critical rate by 4%. It's a really good CP card. Then the extra critical damage by 15%. And then, of course, the increased darkness by 25%. So that adds on to the darkness that she has on her core. So whenever she does Darkness Explosion, it's going to be multiplied big time by having that card on her. It's actually a really good option card for the character. And, you know, whenever you're spamming, you really want to have as much cooldown as you can. And that's why I used Saul as her striker, because Saul actually gives decreased skill cooldown. Now, I know Saul's an insane character, but my Saul on my free-to-play account isn't built yet. I still got to work up to getting more gold hammers and some more resources to level him up, but I would have used him as a damage dealer if I had him built up instead of maybe some other characters. But, you know, you always get the increased attack, you get the PG rate, which is very, very important. But that decreased skill cooldown is really, really nice, especially when you put on option cards that don't have cooldown on them. It kind of makes up the difference because the faster you can spam your skills, the more damage you're actually going to do. And then you have Dizzy. Now, we all know how strong Dizzy is, right? She's got pretty much almost max capsules on her, and she does have 4 Emperor's Stones. I got quite a bit of love in Dizzy. I opted to go with the chill damage Moonstone here that gives extra increased attack because she does have chill damage in her core. Whenever we do chill explosion, it's going to do a lot more damage. Now against Spider Robot, I just try to apply chill. I just run through my skills. I don't even care. I don't even really worry about it as far as applying cold damage. Honestly, guys, I just spam my skills, like whether I use burn or chill. She's going to do more damage on my build if I just apply chill every time. You know, just hit the first skill one time and just apply chill, and then just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But on her card set, we're going to be using this as set, and it's pretty wild that my free-to-play account actually was able to get this set. That's just nuts. And then these option cards here, again, for the Guilty Gear characters are just nuts, man. They add so much CP, and they give the extra critical damage by 20%, the crit rate, the attack. I mean, it's just, these are massive. And by the way, this card set with the Guilty Gear set is bonkers. It is bonkers, man. They synergize so well together. Then, of course, this option card. And then we're going to be going to Kyo here. Now, we all know how strong Kyo is, right? I just got an Akane on him, and I'm actually using this SS option card that actually increases critical rate by 7% and the cooldowns and attack. And this is a really good card for Kyo because we're actually using a Zhongfei card on him. And, you know, this also increases his critical rate. So we're getting a lot of extra critical rate by having these 2 option cards. And we have a 50% chance to deal chill damage equal to 140% of attack to the target upon landing a critical hit. So even though Kyo doesn't have chill damage, when we got the Zhongfei card on him, we increase his critical rate. So that way he could get it done, right? Unfortunately, this passive doesn't work on him because he isn't a Halloween fighter. And it's just really important to also have Iori as a striker for Kyo. So that way you can always get this extra increased attack by 20% when Iori's on the team. And it's any version of Iori except for Orochi Iori and Unshackled Iori. Those 2 versions won't work as far as this passive is concerned, but any other version will work. You don't need SS Iori. You could actually use another version. But SS Iori is really nice because he gives the decreased skill cooldown, right? And the extra attacks. Just really, really nice. The increased attack speed is also really nice because it allows you to go through your skills a lot faster. And then we have Ino here, who, again, max capsule. She's only level 22, but she does have 3 imprint stones on her. And then we also have the Guilty Gear set on her. And as you can see, we got that option card. We're going to have a lot of critical rate on this character, a lot of critical damage, just going to be nuts for Ino. And then we have the option card right here. And for Ino Striker, we're going to be using Mei, right? We're going to use Mei here because she gives a decreased skill cooldown and increased attack, then the PG rate. Now, Mei actually is pretty interesting because if you actually use her as your damage dealer, now, of course, she has chill damage. You can actually use Lady Chang as a striker, and they have a nice little link-up bonus. And Lady Chang applies shock as a striker. So you actually have shock and chill all at the same time if you're using Mei as your damage dealer. It's pretty phenomenal, guys. And then last but not least is Ignis here, right? And Ignis is only level 20. He's not really leveled up. He doesn't quite have max capsules. As far as his imprint stones, we got 2 imprint stones on him. He's not really built up that well. But as far as his card sets, you know, we're just running this set right here. Right, this was a free set that we got during the DOA 6 collaboration that we got from the Rush Dungeon. It gets an extra 21% extra attack and then another 12%. So we're getting an extra 33% attack from this card set. That's it. It's not even a Fest card set, so we don't even have as much CP as what we would with a Fest set. So that's actually pretty awesome, you know, and that's another thing about free-to-play accounts. You just use what you can get. You use what you can get a hold of, and that's pretty much about it. But we do have this option card, which is pretty nice. And just like that Guilty Gear option card, it's pretty much the same thing for Boss Syndrome fighters. And for his striker bonus, we're actually going to be using 0 here because, again, the decreased skill cooldown, man, and the increased attack and the PG rate. So I'll go ahead and pull up that run for you guys so you can check that thing out here. We'll pull that up. Here we go. And we'll hit the old play. And I actually recorded this on Mumu Play. I actually used the recording software on Mumu Play, and it ended up getting all like frizzy and lots of glitches in there. So I actually had to re-record this using a different recording software. So that way it'd look a lot better. You guys have a lot better view of what's going on. But what I do is I just go through my rotations, bring my strikers every single time, and I just run through all 5 of them, and then I'll run through all 5 of them again, and then after that, once their awakened skills are off cooldown, they're ready to go, then I'll just start spamming them. And actually in this run that you're watching here, is I didn't even try to switch my characters. All I did was use my character. I just spam a character, and then when the timer ran out, it just switched to another character automatically. I just started spamming their skills, right? So right now you see the awakened skill for Ignis is at 6 seconds, 5 seconds there just now. So we're just using our 3 PGs right now just to stall the timer, let them cooldowns run down on those awakened skills. Right, you see Remlethal, right? We're just trying to get those cooldowns on that awakened skill ready to go so we can just start spamming, right? So it's always best to really just start off the fight with this way. I mean, really, it depends. I mean, honestly, on my main account with certain characters, you know, 5-star and, you know, 5 imprint stones. I mean, I just come in here and I just start and I just start spamming. It's actually pretty easy to get the max score with some leveled up characters. I mean, if you got, like, these Guilty Gear characters are just nuts, man. They are insane. But obviously, so is characters like Keo and Ignis, right? So are the other SS characters. And other BS characters, they're absolutely insane. I mean, if I had 0 leveled up, I would use him, right? By the way, I'm using Kula as a striker. I didn't even go over that with Dizzy, but I'm using Kula as a striker because Kula actually offers extra chill damage as a striker and gives a decreased skill cooldown for Dizzy. So we're getting a lot of chill damage, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, and really, you know, whenever this game mode first originally arrived, it was such a nightmare. It was, and it still is for newer players. But like I said earlier, you know, when you start getting these characters, these OP characters, it just, I mean, none of these characters are over 83. None of them. Only one of them has 4 imprint stones on them, right? And not all of them has 3 imprint stones. Like, it's not like they're all jacked up and maxed out. And we're easily, I mean, look at the score right now, right? We've only went through 1 character. We just used Dizzy so far, right? And Dizzy being the monster powerhouse she is, she just absolutely destroyed. And now look at Keel, right? Insanely strong characters. And, you know, if you are having trouble with this and you haven't leveled up your fame system, I mean, that's something you definitely should be doing, you know. Whatever color of characters that you're using throughout the game, you should level up the fame system for that respective color to really help out their damage. It does make a big difference. And you see right there, I let Keo's timer run out, and it just switched to Ramlethal automatically, and now I'm just going to start spamming Ramlethal. I didn't time when I used chill and shock in this at all. You know, I told you guys the timestamps where shock and chill you need to be applying, but honestly, it didn't even seem to matter. You know, as long as you got a couple characters got some chill, a couple characters got some shock, you'll be all right. Even if you don't, I've actually done this on my main account where I didn't even have shock and chill. If they're strong enough, they'll still get a max score in here. I mean, there's players getting 2 billion plus in this thing, man. It's just, that's insanity, guys. It's just insanity. Oh, look at that. You know, I think we need like 386 million, something like that, to get the max score, to get the max rewards out of this thing. And we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it. No problem. Look at that. 360 million right now. Excuse me. Oh, get it done, girl. I'm just going to let the timer run out. We switch to Ignis. Now, Ignis is kind of, there's something that kind of sucks about him in Spider Robot. Is that, you know, all the other characters, their Hyper Armor can just be easily canceled in other skills, whereas Ignis, if you really want to get optimal damage out of him, it's really just, you know, like, you'd hit your Awaken skill, then it'd just be, you know, 1-3 basic attack. 1-3 basic attack, because he has a decreased skill cooldown of his attacks from his core effect when using basic attacks. But here, you need to use his Hyper Armor every once in a while. That way he doesn't get interrupted and get knocked back. It kind of slows his damage down a little bit, but he's such a strong character. He's just godly, right? Because he's got that 10-second dot, shock dot on his first skill. I mean, he's got the darkness too, but that shock is just nuts. Now watch Ino's damage here, man. Ino will absolutely destroy this. And Ino, you know, has the Guilty Gear set with that Guilty Gear option card on her. And she just starts putting up numbers, man. She is crazy. There's a reason that I put her at #1 for the greens. I mean, she is... I mean, look at this, guys. Easily destroyed the score. I probably could have done this a while back, in all honesty. But this is my... This run isn't my first time, but last night when I did this run was my first time getting all those rubies, right? 400... Almost 450 million. Right? Just a piece of cake. So a lot of you guys out there that, you know, you have Ramlethal, you have Ino, you have Mei. Again, if you're using Lady Chain with Mei as a striker, you're going to be good to go. They're going to be just insanity to get together, because you're always going to have shock and chill being applied constantly whenever you're using those characters all at once. And the damage is, it's going to be nuts, though, guys. I mean, there's so many different combinations that you can actually use. It just really depends on who your strongest characters are, as far as who you actually use in that game mode. You know, those are, you know, my strongest characters currently right now in the game. So those are the characters that I use. And characters that don't have chill, you could always put a Zhongfei card on them. Find a way to increase their critical rate by throwing option cards on them. If you have the Shermie option card, it's the same thing. If you have a Shermie option card, you can throw that card on them and then apply a bunch of extra critical rate with other option cards, and you'll get shock damage, right? You don't even need to have shock and chill damage characters, as long as you got some Shermie option cards, you got some Zhongfei cards. But like I said earlier, man, if your characters are strong enough and powerful enough, they can actually get it done without even having the right dot. But that's really only something for veterans or whales to actually be applicable. And by the way, just to let you guys know, in the SS Shizuru event on my free-to-play account, I can get this last shard. Now, I'm going to collect this thing, and I know the option card's godly for her, but what I'm going to do on my free-to-play account is I'm actually going to wait this 11 days, and I'm going to keep farming and farming and farming and farming in this thing and see if I can get extra shards, because honestly, I would rather have 3 more shards and get another memory any day instead of having this option card. The option card's godly, don't get me wrong, it's great for Shizuru, but I would, if it comes down to the point where it's better just to get a memory instead of that card, then that's the route I'm going to go. You know, if on the last day, if I have 6 shards, then I would use those shards just for her memory. I wouldn't even worry about that option card, because the more you get her awakened, the better off you're actually going to be. She's going to be more than strong enough without the option card. Although I will be doing some testing on my main account with the option card to see what kind of difference there is in her damage, so you guys can make a better decision as far as what you should actually do as far as trying to farm for Shizuru memories. So let me know how y'all doing in the game. Let me know how you're all doing against Spider Robot. I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.